Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Usually I do reviews, but today I'm going to be showing a modification that I did to an acoustic tube earpiece. This is the one that I've done. This is what they originally look like. So you stick this in your ear, wrap it around your ear. The issue I was having was that it just doesn't fit properly on my ear. I've tried readjusting this using some heat, just a little bit of heat, just to reshape it, just get a little bit tighter. Just didn't conform. So I was looking for some solutions on eBay, and they do have the ear hooks, but they're like made out of silicone. They're pretty thick for the size that you need for this. You need like the 4mm ones, and you can't really shape them. They're just a piece that fits on top of your ear just to hold it there. And I wanted something that would be a little bit more snug and hold it in place more tight, and also make it so that the earbud gets sort of pushed into my ear a little bit more. So after a lot of trying to do different things, it was a learning lesson. I finally got it figured out, and this is the solution that I came up with. So what you need is a paper clip, a lighter, some heat shrink, and this is just some black. I ran out of the clear, but you can buy it in clear, red, green, whatever you want. But I'm going to use black for this. And then this is just an excess piece of tube so I can show. And then for when I did mine, I used this. It's from like holding strings onto a turkey or something for when you're cooking them. I am inserting this into the tube, because one of the things that I had issues was with the heat. I didn't think it would affect it too much, but it did. It warped my tube, and so you put this into the tube all the way in, and make sure that it's all the way for the area of work that you want to do, that this steel piece is all the way through there. I also found that a little bit larger of a paper clip works perfectly for it. So there's an example. So if you want to have this to be just the bend area, you put your paper clip on here, your heat shrink, and do your work, and that way your tube doesn't get warped. So the first thing you want to do is take a paper clip. This is the smaller type. Straighten it out so it's straight. Once you have it straightened out and such, then re-wrap it around your ear, shape it so that it conforms. If there's any excess, cut it off. When I did mine, I took off like probably about 3/4 of an inch off of it, because I didn't need that much to make the shape that I wanted. And then, as mentioned, you want to stick where the piece of work is so you don't lose the shape of the tube itself. Put it in. This is excess tube. This was my first time trying it, and as you can see, it did get a little bit damaged and warped, so I can't get this all the way in, but you guys get the general idea that you want this all the way through. Once you've done that, take your paper clip, sit it on the side. So if you're going to be doing, you know that you want it to bend in this way, then have the piece where it's not showing on the opposite side. And then take your heat shrink, and wrap that around. Alright, so if you guys are unfamiliar with heat shrink, it's used in electrical work. Basically, you take a heat gun to it, you melt it down, and it just keeps everything nice and tight. Like if you're doing wiring and you solder it together, you can wrap that around it, or when you're doing connectors, you can put that on the end of the connectors and where you solder to the connector, and heat shrink it and just clean it up and make it look nice. I have some heat shrink right here, but I'll just grab a trial piece here. So here it is. I'll just take a lighter to it, and that way you get a general idea what it does. So as you can see, it shrunk it down, tightens it up. As you can see, because I used a lighter, it left some char. That's not to worry about. It does happen. Using a heat gun would be preferable. I don't have a heat gun, so I just use a lighter. I've always used a lighter. And then at the end of it, you can take a scouring pad and just run underneath water and just wipe it down, or you can use some really fine grit sandpaper and just sand it down. And in the end, it will come out clear, if that's what you're using, is the clear or whatever color, and it will clean it up. All right, so back to this piece, the trial piece here. So as you can see, I'm just going to take a lighter to it. Just shrink this down. All right, so once you got that done, if you do wash the tube because you want to clean it, make sure that you have both sides plugged. That way water doesn't get in there, because if any water does get into these acoustic tubes, then pretty much you have to wait till it dries out, and it's very hard to get the water out, and just you won't be able to hear any noise because it gets blocked off. But once you've done all that, pull out the paper clip or whatever you use to make sure that you keep the tube shape, and then just reshape it. You can make it any shape you want. That way it conforms to your ear. So for the one that I did, I wanted it, as mentioned, just a little pushed into my ear a little bit. And then this piece, I got it so it's got a nice hook. And then it clamps down to my ear. I ran around for a bit just testing this one out. It wasn't falling off my ear. It was a lot more in position and just a lot more comfortable, I found. So anyways, yeah, just a quick modification. Very inexpensive, you know, a lighter. Everybody has a lighter. A paper clip. You know, what's that, a couple cents, and you know, heat shrink tubing at electronics stores is only a couple of dollars, if that, and that's for a whole package of it. So I hope you like this modification that I did. I hope it helps someone out there that's having the same issue that I was having. Have a great week, have a great day, and take care.